Okay, look into the camera and introduce yourself. Are you rolling, Aizo?
Well, thank you. My name is Maungu Oyugi, Member of Parliament for Luanda Constituency, which happens to be in the great county of Vihiga, western part of Kenya. I'm a first-time Member of Parliament, and I sit in the Education and Research Committee of National Assembly. So to me, it's been a great committee because I've learned a lot. And part of the reasons I'm here is because of that committee. So we're good to go.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk now. So break down this committee for us. Somebody doesn't understand. Think of somebody who may not understand even that there are committees.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, there are things people never know about Parliament. Parliament is a national assembly where rules or laws are made. And it operates in two systems. One, it operates through the plenary, where all the 349 members of Parliament come sit in a place and they discuss or debate issues. But most of the work is done in committees, and we have about 43 committees in Parliament. And those committees, they are those which we call sector or departmental. That is, they deal with the given sector. For example, education, agriculture, blue economy, transport. Then we have audit committees that now supervise. For example, we have Public Accounts Committee. We have. I also happen to sit in another small committee known as a Committee on National Cohesion and Equality. Kuangalia tu kwamba kuna usawa katika nchi. So education is one of those, I may say, good committees, because education is a very important part of our country and very important in any given system. So I do count myself privileged to have joined Parliament, and by God's grace have sat in that committee of national education, because we oversee both basic education, we oversee higher education, and again we oversee technical and vocational education, which is now the in thing in the country. So
what makes you get decided? Why were you picked for the education committee?
Well, many variables come into play. For example, being an accountant, I am a certified accountant. I would have really gone into public accounts or budget or finance. But the cost of balancing, it was discovered that it's also important I sit in education, because in that education, majority of them are teachers. But in that committee, we have a marketer who sits there to bring his expertise. An accountant sits in that committee to bring a doctor sits in that committee to bring his expertise. So as much as majority are teachers, you select where you want to be. But in the event that you're not able to fit or to be, when we are too many, because this committee has about 15 people, that's when now you discuss issues and at a closer range, because 349 members is quite a big number. You actually can't debate and discuss issues thoroughly. So I must say that as much as I had wanted to be in the finance or budget committee, I found it good that I'm in education, because there's so much I've learned. And education cuts across. Whether you are in town or you're in the village, it cuts across. Two, it has given me an opportunity to understand deep issues about education, because in the Kenyan budget, education takes the highest budget, around 600 billion plus.
Wow.
So you can imagine that it's such an important committee, because it oversees Teacher Service Commission, all the teachers teaching this country. So it has a huge budget. And therefore, I find it okay, because, again, we have more than 10,000 schools in the country. So you can imagine what you oversee. Many public universities and private universities. Many TTIs, or you call them polytechnics. So to me, it's a very good it's a very good committee, I must say.
Okay. Yes. What's your role in that committee? Or what's the role of the committee?
The role is diverse, because one, the main aspect of Parliament is there to legislate, to oversight, and to represent. Legislation is whereby any law that is supposed to affect or regulate in the entire sector of education begins that committee. Because a member will come with a law in Parliament. That committee, upon preparing that bill, then it has to be sent back to the specific committee. For example, now, if somebody wanted to do something about teacher education, something to do about basic education, they'll come up with a bill which will be sent in the education committee. So it will make laws, they actually initiate and discuss and panel beat laws that are relating to education. Number two, we also oversight, meaning that it is the role of this committee to oversight all institutions that deal with education. We have basic education. That means primary schools and secondary schools, they are under this committee. We have got tertiary education, means TVET and polytechnics under this committee. We have higher education, meaning that universities are under this committee. So our duty is to oversee. A good example, recently you've also heard about, we had serious issues about governance issues in Moi University, Eldred. Our committee went to Moi University, looked into the issues that were prevailing and made serious recommendations. That's so the entire council was dissolved, the VC was sent packing, and we have a new team that is working. The other day, we have been having issues with the University of Nairobi. Basically because of governance issues again. Our committee did visit the university twice. We looked into serious issues and we gave recommendations. The ministry has acted. The other day we visited Tuk, which again has serious issues, and I believe the ministry will be able to work in. So the committee is supposed to oversee.
Do you oversee the president, or do you give him recommendations? Like, for example, the controversialness of the exam fees.
Well, for example, exam fee was a very alarming story, so to say. Why do I say alarming? Because our committee is supposed to make, the treasury will propose the budget for the committee, for the department. It is our committee now that goes through these departments, this budget to see, one, do we have equity in this budget? You may have 6 to 9 billion, but half of it goes to one region. So the committee is supposed, because we come from various areas, so you want to see if there's equity and fairness in the distribution. So in the process of now looking at the budget, we discovered, wow, these guys did not actually put a whole 12 billion they're supposed to cover for exam. And we said, no, where will these kids, President Uhuru Kenyatta actually began, he gave a waiver that our young people, whether in private schools or public schools, should be paid for exam. And those are technical issues that happened, and it was not catered for. My committee, which I sit in, restored that one. For example, we are saying that we have been having a big shortage of teachers. One of the things I'll give to the current president is that he has actually employed teachers. No regime has employed teachers like this regime.
Wow.
Close over 76,000 teachers have been employed under permanent and pensionable terms just to cater for the teacher deficit. This budget, we have also provided for another 20,000 teachers, which will now bring the number from 76 to 96,000, which will go fit, or rather kind of address the challenges we have in
change of the system.
In change of the system.
CBC.
We have, for example, teachers have stagnated in one grade for years. I went to Elgeyo Marakwet the other day. I was attending a function of a retired teacher. This madam, upon leaving college, was posted in a school, worked in that single school for 32 years in one grade. She was a P1 all those years.
No promotion.
No promotion. Tell me, you are so demotivated. So this committee has had 3 successive budgets where we have been able to provide for teacher promotion, and to me, it's a good thing that has happened. And many other good things that are happening, and I believe, for example, right now we are saying that in this country, what counts more is technical education. Hii kazi ya mkono. We've been saying, watu wakwe walimu, watu wakwe daktari. TVETs, umesahau plumber. You go, you don't find plumbers who are young like you. We find plumbers who are there. You find the electricians who are. So we are saying that now we are now putting so much concentration on TVET so that these people can be given hands-on skills. I was happy, now that we are in Europe, I was happy when I was seeing guys are working with tools, trying to. So TVET is the way to go. And I believe this committee has actually worked to ensure, that's one of the game changers, I will say, that this government and the committee that sees in the 13th Parliament takes over the same. Okay. Something else I'll need to mention to you, Parliament sits in, for example, this is the 13th Parliament. Why do we say so? Since independence, we have had very many parliaments. So this is the 13th. After 2027, we shall have a new parliament. It shall not be the 14th. So you see how they move. So we are currently in the 13th Parliament. So after the next election, we shall be in the 14th Parliament. So that's how things go.
Okay.
Yes.
We can have, first of all, thank you so much for educating us about the committee. So for me now, let me transition, because you've talked about, we're currently in Tartu in Estonia.
Yes.
I want to walk people your journey as a member of parliament sitting in the education committee, therefore representing the country in an essence under the education committee.
Correct.
First and foremost, how did you hear about this and why was it important for you to come?
Thank you. I must confess that this tour to me has opened my eyes in various and diverse ways, because we got an invitation, I think, from Golden Connections, that they'll be having an education excursion, so that private school owners were coming to benchmark on the kind of education being provided in Kenya and how it happens in this part of Europe. And an invitation, it happened that now it was my turn to travel, because I've equally traveled many other countries for the sake of the same. And I found that since I've not been to Estonia or this part of Europe, let me come and see. And truth be said, what I've discovered is, one, in Kenya, for example, we believe for you to start a school, our schools, you must have massive land. These guys are having schools in Kaposho. And there's one I went, they have an acre, they have 1,400 kids in that school, grade 1 all the way to grade 12. In Kenya, I want to demand that you must have 5 acres or 10 acres. Why should we do that? Okay, we should not allow mushrooming of makeshift schools, but if a proper school is there, allow guys learn. Again, talk of capitation. We have a system in Kenya whereby every learner is supposed to be given money. And in Kenya, a JSS is given 15,000 per year.
What's JSS?
Junior Secondary School in the new CBC. I had the other day, Waziri, saying that it's no longer CBC, but now CBE, whatever the case. So we have junior secondary schools. Each of these learners in Kenya is supposed to get 15,000 shillings per year. Secondary school, each of these learners is supposed to get 22,000 per year. But unfortunately, that money was never released. As I was leaving Kenya to come here, one of the things we discovered, I was making noise, and I want to make noise here, that learners expected to get 22,000. But by the time I was leaving, only 8,000 had been given to the learners, making it very difficult for the principals to run the school. Because how do the principals get money to buy, school instructional materials?
So in short, government hawajalipa fees.
Imekuwa gava haijalipa fee.
Haijamaliza kulipa fees.
Nacheki, sasa nitaka ifukuzwe nyumbani. Gava pia ifukuzwe nyumbani. So one thing I learned here is that Estonians, they have put, I googled it before I came here, that they have the best education system. And guess what? I've confirmed they have. Why? These guys are paying money for learners, be it in private schools or in public schools. And that money will cater for instructional material like books and what have you. That money will cater for the teachers. That money will cater for food. I mean, I sampled a lot of food, I'm a lawyer, so so I sampled some food there. So to me, that was a good thing, that learners are paid for. A student, mtoto ambaye ni watajiri ama ni wa maskini, ni mtoto Mkenya. This kid should be able to access basic education. So that's a good thing I have borrowed. The other issue I discovered also, unlike in Kenya whereby national education is in the national government, this one here, it is in the municipality, it is devolved. The
Devolution of education.
Yes, the municipalities take charge of your education. They pay the teachers. Like the other day we were in a school in Tartu, in Tallinn, and the director,
city of
yes,
Estonia.
Capital city of Estonia, the director was saying that he is actually the TSC and anaangalia mambo ya walimu. So I think we have discovered some legislative gaps, which I'll be trying to see how I can be able to come up with a bill that I can propose in parliament, that if government can take care of whatever it is so that our kids can learn. Looking at Estonia and going through the history, they have a very dark history, having been colonized
5 times.
5 times. So it gives them a weight and a desire to transition by educating their people. So I think in Kenya, we were colonized once, but tumekuwa na shida mingi ya umaskini. But if there's something we can give our young people, is education, so that at least they can improve themselves. And I was happy to discover in every school, in one or the other, I discovered a Kenyan was there. You can imagine, unakuta mwalimu ni Mkenya, ama mwanafunzi, baba yake ni Mkenya, mama yake ni Mkenya. So Kenyans are resilient, and to me, it was quite good.
What about the thing of the best school in Estonia is the nearest school to you?
Thank you for reminding me that. In Kenya, najua, we have classes. I'm a member of parliament. Some are up in the ladder. My kid cannot go in the public school. In Estonia, whether you are the president or just a nobody or Mama Mboga, let me not use nobody, Mama Mboga, you take your kid to the nearest school. So that now you must make this school best. The same case to hospitals. You know, I saw recently a governor in Kenya who left for the US for 6 months kwenda kujifungua. Na mwacha hospitali yake pale ya referral hospital. I mean, the policy should also come that enda hospitali iko karibu na, so that our governors must make their hospitals best. Our educationists must make their schools best, so that any rich or poor person can go to the nearest school available. You don't go to a school that is far. If you go to a school that is far, unajilipia mwenyewe. Ya karibu gava inalipa. So to me that would be very important, and it was a very good thing that it tries to make us all equal. All equal, yes.
Okay, now let me, thank you so much for sharing all that you've learned. I want to now ask a very realistic question. Is it possible for what you have seen to be taken back home? And if so, what does that process look like? So that, because what people probably even watching this think, I'll say wanaenda tu holiday. Naenda holiday, wanalipwa with my money, with my taxpayers' money, wanarudi home, next, off to the next one.
Hey boss, hapa nimekuwa job, hata sijachapa sherehe. Kwa sababu, we've had a very back-to-back program.
Yeah.
And in this back-to-back program, we have been exposed to different, both private schools and municipality schools. And we've been exposed to quite something. So what I think we need to come up now, I'm able to pick, and that's what I was telling the school owners. Maybe there's a way they've been wanting us as legislators to assist them, bring in a law that can help can help them be able to offer this service better. You know, if as much as they're private owners, then they are giving essential services, because public schools cannot give all that. So one of the things I've learned, what we do is that's why we have our clerk. You can be seeing our clerk has been very busy taking notes. He's going to compile all these reports that for the 8 or so days, he's going to compile a report. This report will actually be tabled in the committee, because I'm here on behalf of the committee. Not 15 of us could not have come. As we speak, maybe a few of us are in Canada also looking at their system, somewhere. So we shall now have a report, which we shall finally table this report in Parliament. So I think after some time, you may Google or you go to Parliament Library, and you'll find that there's a report to this one. Now, will this just be forgotten? No. Now, out of this report now, there are people, we have researchers in Parliament. Their work is to read articles, work is to read journals that come out. Out of that journal now, someone will be able to identify a gap that we can feed in the Kenyan system. So I believe, to me, these are very rich, because you are going to enrich our library. Upon enriching our library now, somebody in the process of reading that article or journal will be able to identify a gap that we can use this experience, this exposure to better our system in Kenya.
Do we have the money? Isn't Kenya broke?
Well,
so do we have the money, or are some of these things psychological aspects that don't per se require finance that can also be brought? For example, their mentality of teaching has a very strong essence of care. Granted that they may be training and stuff that's needed, but I just want your honest understanding. Do you think it's possible, or is that
it may not be possible to implement everything 100%, because again, we are on a tight shoestring kind of a budget. Our fiscal space is quite limited. But there are things that, for example, you discovered, they were saying that for you to teach in high school, you must have a master's degree. For you to teach in a nursery, you must have a bachelor's degree. So we want to compare this guy who has a bachelor's degree and the guy who has a P1 or a diploma. What is it that this one of us is lacking that we can add from this guy, so that, thank God that in Kenya now, we have now moved from P1, we are not doing diploma. But can we better it? Because now, teaching here is a very noble profession. In fact, teachers are scarce. Somebody who's retired will be brought back to come and teach because hakuna walimu. In fact, we are asking them watukubalie tuangushe hapa lori mbili ya walimu so that our teachers can come and really make a living out of selling their service, because it will be a kind of exporting labor.
And they said there's no problem. All you have to do is learn the language.
Yeah, they talked of learning the language, which I think you said the other day. We were talking with the members, the parliamentary, whatever. What we have begun, something very interesting, by the way. The MP we were with, who is now the member for Talent Center, he is going to form a caucus of members of parliament who want to befriend Kenyan parliament. Now, we are going to form a caucus of about 10 or 20 people, again, members of parliament who want to befriend this parliament. Then the two of us now, we can have a common WhatsApp group. Whereby now, there are things we can borrow. Be it is each to do the democracy, political, or even on matters of education. He sits in what they are calling, what are they calling it? With us, we call education, they call it community something.
Yes.
So you see now, we have a lot in common. So out of that now is where we can now be able to draw in these synergies and see that now we have formed some friendship now. Let's see what can we do. I saw the other day.
That's good to know. First of all, that's commendable to know because that wasn't part of the plan. That was something that a request that came from your side.
Correct.
For peer-to-peer meetings. And that now looks like it's borne some fruits.
A very good connection, I must say, because out of this connection, it will grow somewhere. You know, the other day, Estonian president was in Kenya. And I think Finland president, was in Kenya. And I think there's something they discussed. So at our level now, when this begins now, Parliament has a way in which they connect with the other guys. So we have now these friends. You know, it's not personal per se. As much as I may have a personal friendship with him, but now it becomes an official friendship. And we're able to borrow a lot. So they'll come to Kenya, we come here. And out of this now, we can come up with serious bilateral agreements. We can propose now to the executive that we can have bilateral agreements whereby our teachers who are in excess can actually be exported here to come give service. There's a time in Kenya, we were taking our teachers to Seychelles, and quite a number went. So I believe that gap is there, and our teachers are very smart people, by the way. We could still bring them here and get something.
Talking about, you also got to meet some of the Kenyan diasporas who are here. Some in school, some working, and some working some pretty incredible jobs. What would you say about that experience?
Kenya. You know, this place, they only see summer for like 3 months. The rest of it, ni kuhaso. So the Kenyans are here working hard, ensuring that they're able to get a coin. So I believe when they take back that money, ni vizuri pia kuelewa jamaa wapitia shida kubwa sana. Because, but it was very encouraging to see students. In fact, for example, I discovered that university education is very cheap.
Extremely.
I was like, wow, I need to think of my daughters or my sons or whatever tukuje wasome pandei. Because you see now, when you go to Canada or to Australia, education is very expensive. Even UK, even US, you take your kid there, you pay seriously expensive. But now here I discovered you're paying quite little money.
It was cheaper than the private universities in Kenya.
Precisely, it was cheaper than UCU and just by far. So I'm like, God, let me go and whatever. So I think it was a good. Shida tu ni hiyo baridi. Hiyo baridi. Lakini kama mtu anaweza zoea baridi, then you send them here so that they can learn and do something. Only that they did, for example, they said that education degree takes about 5 years. Maybe you may need now to make it longer because of learning the Estonian language.
Or you learn it within the 5. It's you to push it.
It depends on how active you are, so that you can be able to grab it and do. But it's a very virgin area that in case of people wa Kenya mimi nawajua wale wakigundua hii opportunity ziko hapa ase watakuja kukuja.
Okay, so maybe now as a parting shot, somebody who because Golden Connections are going to be doing these events multiple times a year. In fact, there's another education delegation coming.
Wow.
There's some on leadership. There's some on business. What would you say about your experience here?
My experience has been awesome. Maybe the only issue I may ask is that we've come purely on education matters and we've gone through pretty well. Maybe next time they may also want to compare the university education. Because we've been able to look at the basic education, so to say, grade 1 to grade 12. So maybe next time they'll be looking at the university education.
Kesho tuko kwa university. University of Tartu.
Wow, that's good. So I'll be missing it because now
unaishia
in Tallinn we only went to one university.
Yes.
So we want to look again. I even was asking technical education, TVET hapo ndio kusema. How do they do their whatever? And then in the process of all this, maybe just introduce something we wish to know. Investors, for example, these guys are very good in the ICT and IT. I wish we were able to scratch deeper into that. So
Okay.
I'll challenge. Though I'm here, I'm hearing that you guys were here in February, and by then you're actually looking at ICT. So though we were able to, I think there are guys who went to see the school management systems. You get me? So that guys can be able to better their softwares in terms of that school data management. But I must say that
as much as what I'm hearing you say, as much as it's micro in education, make it also a bit macro.
At least expand it somewhere so that we can have 70% is education, but 30% opportunities also come in. Let's get know here and there so that now guys can, because I'm sure these guys, they are not only education, they are investors. So I invest in education. Like me, for example, I have an interest very soon of investing in in hospitality industry. I've been searching for a good name, and now I can call Challenge Resorts, Tattoo Gardens, you know. So there are a few things I'm getting here. So I think, let's focus, but maybe 30% of it now, allow it into other aspects. For example, even there are guys here who, like I had the lady from Nakuru saying that she has serious interest in agriculture. That huenda mahali ya ukulima. There's something she can learn. So that's what I may ask of that. But the same, I think we are happy. You guys have been awesome people, a very great experience. And I believe as members, we're also happy to gel, to know you people and be able to understand what it is that Golden Connections International do. You guys are doing a splendid job, and believe you me, I'll equally be able to tell people more about your good work.
Cruise ship, will you enjoy?
Wow, boss, watch it.
What I'll say from us as Golden Connections.
Cruise ship walikuwa noma bwana. Yaani mimi nilala sijui 8th floor kwa maji. Boss, ishasikia hivyo. Unaamka asubuhi, unakuta lori kama 100 zinatoka chini. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. You know, these are lifetime opportunities that you really get. I had invited my madam to join me, only that she kazi ilikuwa imemshika. I'm sure she could have really enjoyed very much. So I'm sure hapa niko na appointment kurudi.
What I'll say is thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
And thank you especially because I feel like you and the other Mahesh, and even the clerk, you guys were, you put down your titles. You are very human around us, hilarious, funny, we got inspirational. We got to understand the behind the scenes of what it takes to be in the seat. It is not easy. And I wish you'd do that more with the public.
But if I talk on that before you finish, there's a very complicated aspect and thinking about who a member of parliament is. These guys are very simple people, by the way. Munakula jokes now, these guys, you know, okay, before I entered, I used to imagine these guys or whatever. But after you come, boss, life continues. So we may have, out of 340, maybe 10% of them may be a bit flamboyant, wanataka living huko juu kwa 4th floor. But you see, hata ukiwa huko juu unashuka hapa chini. So kaa poa na wase, enjoy your whatever, and that is it. So that is what we are, and I believe I wanted to invite you guys in parliament one of these days.
Nasema
kuja huko ndawapatia Baba Owino mu interview kidogo, patia mwingine Salasia mu interview kidogo. You know, these youthful guys, you also interview them so that you may see that parliament is not as people think. It's a very friendly place, and these people are human, these people are normal, these people pia wanapenda kuachilia kidogo.
And even the bigger part of understanding how parliament works.
Precisely.
I think this country 99% don't understand.
They don't understand.
They don't understand the role of parliament, they don't understand the role of MPs, they don't understand all these committees, they don't even understand how to table a bill, bring in a motion, what happens. So that is an offer that I will disturb you this year for.
No, that one, upon tumerudi hivi, wewe kuja huko, I'll be able to arrange, to kaa hapo, to pick us, usikie, to I'll even talk so that now you can interview these people and get to know. Because, you know, we have a lot of untold story. People pursue parliament as it's a place of honor. It's a place of honor, na ni mahali ambapo it's a place of privilege. But within those walls, we have people who are very modest, people who are very okay. But pia kuna fulani, kuna kiasi, haiwezi kosa, unajua. But you see what I keep telling people, parliament is a reflection of the society.
Complete, the best of the best.
If we have a preacher in the society, he's in parliament. If we have a witch in the society, he'll find himself in here. So parliament is a reflection, and a true reflection. You know, sometimes you look at your phone, tumetukanwa MPs tumeambiwa nini? And you know, if you give that chance, that guy an opportunity to come in the same, he'll be the same position I am in. He becomes even a bigger MP than me. So the thing is, it's not, you know, it is, we need to demystify what is parliament. We need to demystify, you know, bunge ni nini hasa. It is a place that mambo iweko kwa meza watu wajue that indeed there's a role a member can play. And you know, these members, there's a lot they can do. If only people understood how sharias are done. Sometimes I see people trolling you, maybe wanakutusi. Unaongea tu matusi unakubali kwa sababu utafanyaje. But there's a process in which we go. A very very interesting way in which things operate. But pia ni place ya order.
And also without and it is not going away. So it is important for us to learn.
Very important.
Because the solution is not to think that it is going away. This is how the system of the country works.
Correct.
So let us learn, then let us put the right people, let us remove the rotten ones.
Exactly.
And let us do it for the betterment of our country.
Exactly. Precisely.
Asante. Niye nimeenjoy.
Thank you, brother.
Tutakutana parliament.
Naita parliament huko. Mkuje muone ile food tulikula watu wakasema haina sukari, haina chumvi.